whole text chain. And then when you read the whole text chain, everything was in context.
Oh my
Like,
God.
none of the negative stuff that was thrown at you, like, this guy's one of these guys,
Yeah.
in context, like, after one of those things was said almost, I think 2 out of the 3 times, her next comment was, "What are you doing this weekend?" Which was, so it was like, you're like, what? They're in a you're reading
like
text,
flirting.
like, they're in a relationship. Like,
Yeah.
he just said, you just asked him to cook you dinner. He said, yes. You said wine and bourbon. He's getting laid, right?
Yeah.
I'm suspecting he's getting laid. Now you're still
He's at least going to try. He's at least going to try to get laid after that. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was, like, multiple, like, what are you doing this weekend? And they were almost always around one of these, where it was like, oh, he was like, you can use my office if it's too busy for you, no problem. And then it was something about changing the chair height. And then so he commented back, like, yes, whatever about the chair height. # long legs. Like, either she has long legs or he's tall and, or short legs or who knows, but it was obviously just like a joke.
Yeah.
Between them. And again, Boston Globe portrayed it as him as a sexual,
this horrible monster of a
guy.
Yeah.
And but ESPN's like, oh, we actually have the whole text chain.
How the fuck do I share?
She actually came back and was just like, oh yeah, we'll see. Or it was like, oh, you got more. So
yeah.
But she accused multiple people.
It's fucking stupid.
Well, that one was a first one where it was like, okay, that's someone jumping on the bandwagon. And women are going to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about if you're going against Weinstein and you become some sort of class action lawsuit, which you can't.
Right.
They can all sue him independently for $10 million. It's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. How the fuck do I send people the,
Do the gravy train. We'll get the women all pissed off.
Oh, yeah,
See,
great.
the gravy train's running. All you women just jumping on it. Making Gab happy.
Right. Feminism ends tonight. You take down the whole institution of feminism tonight on this podcast.
You want all things equal? Fine.
Yeah.
As of now, all things are equal. Strap on your boots, ladies.
There was a funny meme that a lot of women on Facebook were actually sharing. It was like a woman looking out a window, and it was like, today I'm gonna fight for gender equality. And she looks out the window and all the men are shoveling. And she said, tomorrow.
It's true.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Uh-oh.
We should do those. That sounds good. That'll be how we'll get with the Gab group. We can do those where it's like there's something that they want, but it's just out of their reach. And they have this taller man standing next to them.
Exactly. How do I... Oh, okay, there we go. Chat. Hey, there's somebody watching. That's cool. What's up, fam? We're trying to figure out how to share the goddamn link with people. Bear with me for a second.
Nice.
We're talking about how we're going to pander to the right wing on this show. Somebody on Gab was telling me that the right wing is going to take over.
I don't see how that's ever possible. We've gone over that, right? I mean,
it's like, what do you mean by the right? Like, that's a weird thing too, because I don't understand.
Conservatism would have to spread, and that's something that's inherently going to die because it doesn't want to change.
The world is going to...
things. The world is changing. It doesn't believe in evolution at its core.
Right. And yeah, so there's like, it's faced with science and it's faced with technology, and it's like, you're not going to... Right.
So it's faced with information, and some of it doesn't want to choose to believe, or it doesn't necessarily want how the belief is told to them to change. How about that?
Yeah.
They like it just the way it is. Straight. Don't chase it.
And if the way it is fine with you now, that's fine. I don't see a problem with somebody being conservative, but it's like AI and automation, as we learned, is just going to crush everybody and bend our physical bodies to its will.
That also is the setup that the government likes the most, because then people just want God, country, taxes, life.
Simple. It's easy.
Yes, and they can do whatever they want and continue with your whole class system that we all have to accept.
Exactly. Posting the stream to the social networks, and then we're gonna get started. So bear with us for a second, viewer, if you're still here.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What are our topics tonight? I'm kidding.
What were we gonna?
Do we ever have a plan?
We always go in with a plan, and then we fucking.
I think the
Jerk
only
off
time we
around
stuck
for a
with a
while.
plan, it didn't really go that well. I think it's much better when it's off the rails.
Yeah. And then we offer the edited, 45-minute version on the podcast, and now we're multicasting, folks. We've gone beyond the pod.
So those of you, going through the hooks and wires with us, thank you.
Yeah. So let's get back to
The Patriots.
the creators.
They pulled off another fucking miracle today.
Yes.
Don't know why teams do stupid things at the end of games to lose to us, but they do.
Oh yeah, what happened there?
We got the ball back after we kicked the field goal and didn't look good and stopped them and got the ball back, and then marched right down the field, scored the go-ahead touchdown.
Okay.
Went for 2 because we were up by 1 at that point. You want to be up by 3,
Yeah.
so a field goal can only tie. Get the 2-point conversion, no problem. Gronkowski is running wild on the field. They get the ball back and run some stupid little underneath route that we can't tackle.
Okay.
The guy runs down to the 7-yard line. And now there's 40 seconds left. No, 24 seconds left at this point. And their first play, nice design, throw to the tight end. Tight end catches the ball. It kind of is falling, not touched. So he kind of freaks out and reaches for the goal line. And in doing so, his elbow hits odd, and his hand comes off the football, and then he only has one hand on top of the football, and the football's on the ground now.
Who's
The tight end? The guy catches the ball clean.
the Clippers guy?
Steelers
guy? Yeah.
Catches the ball clean, goes to the ground. He's not touched, so you're not down. But he reaches out, and then his hand moves off the ball, and now how they review all this stuff, it goes down to the slow motion, and then he lost control of the football, and now you have to complete the catch in the NFL through the ground. So if you catch it, put 2 feet down, and get hit, you still have to hit the ground, not juggle it at all, roll to your feet, and stand up with it. That's how you can catch the ball now.
Okay, they can't.
So they take this touchdown off the board.
Oh shit.
And then they have a couple more plays. They're still there. And the first play, the guy just kind of throws, their quarterback throws an inside slant route, just like when we won the Super Bowl before, into too much coverage. The ball gets batted around, we picked it off, and somehow won. And that was it. That was good. So it was this tiny technicality. I mean, it was touchdown forever. But until they enacted this rule that they look at and investigate.
So you have to be standing in the end zone.
That's what's funny is
that sucks because people dive into the end zone when they catch shit and it's awesome.
They make it so complicated. No, because if you possess the football first and you're running and you dive,
the
second the ball crosses the plane, you have it. It's touchdown. You can lose the ball at that point. It's over. You could drop it and Superman dive into the crowd if you wanted.
Okay.
But if you caught the football, then enter the end zone. You have to complete the catch, which is this new rule that happened a couple of years ago, which the ball can't juggle or anything. Even if it's on you, like if you made this incredible catch and you fell to the ground and the ball juggled a little bit, but you still had it on your chest the whole time, you were out of bounds at that point, no catch. It's very weird.
Stupid.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
They take it so far in the NFL. But it all comes down to that game of inches and feet.
They got the photo finishes.
Now exactly. That was a photo finish because they took the touchdown off the board. It changed the whole game.
They went from Final Fantasy 3 to Final Fantasy 7 with the rules.
Yeah, right. It came back to they have to hit the extra
give all the
point
players
and
jewelry
we have to
now.
get the ball and somehow kick a field goal and tie. But then it was like, nope, no touchdown. One more play.
Fuck that.
We knocked out their best player too, so the league can thank us for that. On a clean play. A clean play this time. You're not a big sports guy, so we don't get into that. But our boy Rob Gronkowski couple weekends ago.
Some dirty plays.
Well, he got interfered with in his opinion, and the guy picked it off, and he got mad, and the guy was down and out of bounds, and he just walked over to him, and WWE shoulder smashed him in the back of the neck. It was awful.
God damn.
It was awful. Guy got concussed. He pulled off his helmet, with blood coming out of his nose.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, it was bad, and he got suspended.
Yeah.
He missed last week's game that we lost. And this was his game back, and he was quiet in the second half of this football game. He ran wild. And he was a beast.
God damn.
Larry's done with football. But I'm very happy. Very happy. It puts me in a good mood for this show. Because if we had lost to the Steelers, it would have sucked. Now we're first seed, locked up, home games. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Sometimes Bad Mood Larry's pretty good on the show.
It's true. It depends. It depends on where we go. Just topics are topics.
Yeah.
And they strike everyone differently.
That's true. All right, here we go. Hit record here. It's December 17th.
Holy shit.
A week away from Christmas Eve.
That's right.
Yes. As promised, we will be releasing the Patreon episodes as a Christmas present.
Yep.
And probably divesting from Patreon at this point for the time being.
We'll see. You have to flow with the market. We have to, it's one of these things.
Yeah.
You just have to do it. You never know what's going to happen. The event horizon is just out there for us all.
It's going to sweep back around, and then we're going to be like chanting weird Latin shit and ripping our eyeballs out.
Well, now I'm just weirded out because now I know eventually I'm going to have to become part of the Borg.
Yeah.
Right now I feel like I'm not, so.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the changes that will happen to me.
I feel like, yeah, there's all this stuff with children and screens.
I fight that every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe in that. We deal with an education system for our kids that is, we have to sign an agreement with these people that they wouldn't be watching Disney movies and shit. But it's
But they still do, and it's like
most of them probably do.
Yeah, ours do. We don't follow the Waldorf, fucking.
We try.
Lifestyle commitment.
I try.
Yeah.
But it's impossible nowadays. I mean, and my wife, who God bless her, is the staunch, stander-upper for the for lack of a better term for all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, she bought Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from Xfinity the other night.
There it is.
So I mean.
Yeah. You gotta compromise. I've been thinking about compromise a lot actually recently.
Yeah.
And the idea that Corey brought up in the poker and neoliberalism episode.
Well, that didn't involve any of that.
Yeah. So I wonder how far someone's uncompromising beliefs go. Because a big thing that the DSA talks about is like, no, we're not taking any compromises on abortion rights. We're not taking any compromises on $15 minimum wage, and it's using that right-wing tactic of saying, no, this is our line, and we're not doing that anymore. But, like...
We will be here until there's a shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what they want, is a shift. A quick
shift.
Yes.
To the,
Well, just
plateau.
Not to the left or anything. If that actually happened, that would be a very quick shift.
Yeah.
Of basic power, which is money, obviously. But it's a radical idea.
Yeah. So, isn't life just compromise? Isn't life just a constant series and sequence of just compromises that you have to make?
I'm pretty sure you find that to be galactically true. I mean...
Yeah, it's like
even aliens would have to fucking agree with that statement, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Even the Borg at some point has to say, well, I mean, we need to make a difficult choice here. They probably have a consensus that they
There's some hard angles to their thought process from my limited recollection of the Borg. But you're right, because obviously there's a show, so they didn't just come and kill everyone and continue.
Yeah.
The Borg wasn't one episode. It was many episodes.
And they do just eventually just blow up that fucking cube at some point.
Well, Jean-Luc got in and got out, so he proved that there was a flaw in the Matrix somewhere.
Yeah.
So. Okay, well,
Yeah, it's just...
But you're right, compromise. Compromise is literally the basis for everything that's ever happened. Even nature has to compromise at some point.
Yeah.
This isn't working. we have to do this. This isn't working at all. Destroy everything. Start
yeah.
again.
You know, but there's like vines that will choke out trees and stuff, and you know, and they're not
think that
compromising.
the
It's,
mosquito was something that somebody made a compromise for because nobody wants a mosquito, but it had to happen for some
That's
reason.
true. Yeah.
I mean,
I've heard the mosquito described as the proof of a vengeful god. You have to believe in.
it could be. If you ever watch Naked and Afraid, yes.
There's some bad mosquitoes and that shit.
Well, they just sent people out into like the fucking jungle naked.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Like a Survivor type show.
Yeah, you have to build. Yeah. So there's you don't have mosquito netting, you don't have clothing.
Yeah, you just have a fully clothed and fed camera crew that's following you around the entire time.
So it's basically like, can you do 28 days of being feasted on by mosquitoes between the hours of?
Yeah.
Depending on where you go, it's a very.
See, I learned in the prairie that you rub mud all over yourself, like Predator style, or Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now style. Mosquitoes don't touch you; they leave you alone. Or those greenhead flies, the horse flies or whatever. Those are bastards out there. They'll fuck you up.
They're here, around here too.
Yep, on our beaches.
Elephant flies, I think I've seen.
Yes.
The big version of the horsefly. The horsefly out on
Elephant fly?
Elephant fly.
Ugh. That's always weird when there's an animal and then there's a bigger version of the same animal.
Well, that's like Africa.
Yeah.
Or
South America, there's those like giant dog-sized bunnies.
Yep. Rats.
Oh, the capybara, those fucking.
Well, none of the neutrino rats.
The giant rats.
Well, those are. Yeah, they are a rat. They are a rodent. That's the largest rodent in the world. But they're kind of nice and cuddly. But these rats that are now invading South Florida from South America, Nutra rats, or whatever they are, these big 10, 12-pound rats with beaver-like teeth. And they're awful. Awful. They've been in offshoot shows of people who go and try to kill them. And, they, like, catch one and put, like, a tracking device on it, send it to its home. And then they go and throw and then they follow it back to like the horde hive or whatever. They throw dynamite.
I'm picturing the guy with one of those black like TNT levers that he's like pushed down, like Acme Wile E. Coyote style, and then just blows up the rats.
Some people use dogs, and you have to use the same stuff that you use when you have them go out and try to get wild boar.
Jesus.
You have to put it on these because once they get in, 20, 30 rats on a dog's done in like 10 seconds if it's not on. So they have to lay them all out just like they were going after a boar, which is like basically one hit.
Yeah.
It's weird. But yeah, these rats are awful.
I didn't know that they
get paid to go out at night. Yeah, they live by the water. So you can go and shoot them and just, you can eat them.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh man.
How do we get on Nutri-Rats?
We were just talking about large animals.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got on it. Yeah, whatever.
Alright. Should we get to our actual topic?
Don't get me into animals. I fucking love animals. I can talk forever about anything about animals.
Yeah, good.
If I'm an expert on anything, it's beer.
Animals. I love it's a broad topic.
Yeah. I really do. I am one of those idiot savants about that. You're an idiot savant about everything I've ever heard of, but I'm an idiot savant about that stuff.
People have been sending me Nephilim videos all week.
Dude, did you watch The Prophecy? Because it was Uziel is one of the names in it.
Azazel?
No, this was
Uriel?
One of them. I thought it was U-Z or U-R-E-I-L, something like that.
Yeah, Uriel.
Yes.
He
was low level to Gabriel, and Simon was the good angel. Some of it came back to me.
That's amazing.
You gotta see this movie. If that's your thing, I'm surprised. Maybe I'm way off in left field. I'm like, wow, if you're this far in, I would.
No, I was like,
this is literally Walken's best movie in my opinion.
Okay.
He is dastardly and terrible.
Who does he play?
He plays Gabriel.
Okay.
The Archangel Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yes, and he is trying to outwit Lucifer, who is played by Viggo Mortensen.
Okay.
And the guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who played C.K. Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good actor. I don't know why I referenced him in that. Actually in The Fallen and plays what's his name, Azazel.
Okay.
Azazel's main character in the jail that deals with Denzel is this guy.
This guy got
also
typecast
the main
in
character he's like the police straight guy in The Prophecy.
Yeah.
And there's, it's on an Indian reservation, dude. It's like your alley. It lives within the walls of everything. And I'm like, how does he's never even heard of this movie?
I will go back and watch this like tonight.
You have to, dude.
Okay.
It's sick.
All right.
It's one of my favorite movies that I never see because it's odd. It's like it's
you have to like pay attention to it. Yeah.
Well, it moves slowly yet odd, fast at the same. You'll see it.
Okay.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah, we should do a whole episode.
Especially, with that stuff because it seems like that's what these guys are.
Yeah.
Rolling around. He just picks people up though. He kind of controls people. Like they are just about ODing, and he's like now you're mine.
Yeah.
Now you're mine. Stand
Soul.
up. But no. One of them was really funny. He has a couple of them that he has like throughout the movie, walking as his
crew.
They can't drive. They can't do a couple specific things.
They can't drive?
I don't think he could drive. It's like he needed them to do some things for him, like regular ordinary shit he couldn't do, but they had to do it for him.
Okay, interesting.
Can't remember everything.
Yeah.
Gotta see. You're gonna come back next week and be like,
well, yeah, people were sending me giant skeletons. Like, they found, like, human skeletons that were, like, 19 feet and stuff, and, like, oh, look, evidence of the Nephilim. Because the Nephilim are the spawn of the half-human, half-angel spawn that were, like, also eerily similar to Clash of the Titans, like that, giants fighting each other and cannibalizing humans and stuff, and...
Ugh, I didn't know they were reading us.
Yeah, it's... Like the Cyclops in the Odyssey was like a Titan or something like that. And
no, he was just a Cyclops.
Well, he was also huge.
He was a badass. But he only had that one eye, Disadvantage.
No depth perception.
No depth perception, and then if you take down the one eye, then, you're blind.
Exactly. So, that was, but I did come across a cool article that I texted Celeste.
Excuse
me. And it was a Harvard study about toxic coworkers.
But these the ones that play the Christmas Carol music from their cubicle?
Yes.
For everyone?
Yes. They're the people. This study figured out that the people who are the most prone to authoritarianism or fascism are the people who follow all the rules of the workplace to a T, no matter what.
Okay.
And not just like process is good. It's good to have a process. It's good to have some procedures about how you do certain things so that there's accountability, etc.
But once you start working it mechanically,
you're like, oh no, we don't turn on the coffee maker after 5 p.m.
Okay. Good. So you're not talking about me.
No, you're talking about just.
No, I know.
The rules for rules' sake people.
Lemmings.
Yeah. And when it comes down to when new rules are introduced and the like, it becomes people just follow the new rules, and as they keep getting added on.
No, I think that okay, or it's just like the glom on or the everyone jump on the bandwagon approach. I think that's easy, in these times of Twitter and other mediums that are directing our whole focus of, like our media focus. We don't listen to the news and do all that nonsense.
Yeah.
They're all just sort of following the noise instead of putting in the work. Like you're saying, like, I'm just going to do my job. That may assist someone else, but that's not necessarily part of my job, so I'm not going to do it. That's not really part of the rules.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it this way because that's the right way to do it approach. I definitely view that as a failing.
Yeah, and I like the way you put it.
You're not making it your own.
Not making it your own, and you put it. You said the right way to do things, and the word "right" to me is like you want a right outcome, and you want to have right behavior as you move through things, and sometimes that means bending a rule or saying I should do it this way, but you know what? In this particular circumstance,
what makes sense?
What makes sense? And the person that's going to tap on your shoulder and say, no, we have to do it.
Common sense does not dictate in this circumstance. Now, I've definitely seen that. You know, paperwork sometimes overrides common. Well, actually, sometimes paperwork overrides common sense all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You look at our judicial system. I can look at my business. I know that if even the amount that I see, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just the whole scenario. You can just see how it all tumbles out of control. Where it's just.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to.
Well, maybe striking some sort of balance between. I think documentation is good. I think having data available so you can, some sort of paper trail is good. But when it just becomes a matter of like procedure, when it turns into
and when it overrides
policy,
like common sense. I'll use a specific scenario.
All right.
There was an instance where a job was done, and there was a large wetland that bordered a golf course where they were going to build some houses. In the locating of the wetland, there was an error. Not by my company, thankfully. But that got signed and stamped to build. So when we found out that the actual wetland, this large swamp-like area,
yeah,
was not where it was planned to be. It actually was in and very near to this one house. It couldn't be changed because that was already stamped and approved. So a house got built well within where you are legally able to build a house, but because it was stamped initially and the wetland line therefore couldn't change, the house was built outside of the accordance of the regular law.
Okay.
Which obviously makes no sense. That property owner should be very upset with somebody.
Yeah.
That specific one, because it was really only one lot that got impacted in this whole 300 lot subdivision.
Yeah.
However, it just was very odd. It was just like, well, we know that it's not, it wasn't off by 10 feet. It was off by a considerable amount.
Okay.
So it just was odd that they were like, we'll try to make a design to adhere to as much as we can.
Yeah.
Or at least make that, it was just
very... to work around it somehow.
But instead, no. I was, staking out a wet flag that was, next to somebody's house. I was like, this is just obviously wrong.
Yeah.
But right. Because that's what everyone decided was going to be right. Which made absolutely no sense. It's my whole common sense thing. I'm going to always come back to that, because it's not common. It should be called something else. We should find a new fucking phrase for common sense.
Rationality or...
whatever the fuck you want to call it, because common sense is not really a thing. It's not an actual thing.
No, because it's not common.
No. No, but it should be called, not common sense.
Yeah.
Do you have not common sense? I should be able to ask people that. People who have common sense look at me and be like, I'm sorry you had to ask me that.
What is the test? Remember in Blade Runner when they had the empathy tests? Do you remember that movie?
Or the new presidential test that we need from last week?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that from Blade Runner.
Yeah, they would do to test whether you were a replicant or not. Some people were synthetic humans.
Okay.
And they tested, empathy was required in this new society.
You're right. Well, so obviously one thing a machine can't.
Yeah, yeah. So they ask you questions like, you're walking in the desert, and you see a turtle, and you flip it over on its back, and you watch it squirm and start to burn in the desert sun. How do you feel? And they show the robot, it's just a guy, but he's a robot. And he's like, why would I do that? Why would I turn over the turtle? And he's like, tell me how you feel about your mother. And the robot just shoots him. He's like, that's how I feel about my mother. So just,
What was the answer? Hungry?
No, you're supposed to just be like, oh, I feel bad for it. I don't want it to burn.
Oh. So you aren't lost in the desert. You have things.
No, and your inability to grasp this is a little concerning, Larry.
Sorry.
I might have to report you to.
It happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was like, alone, in the desert.
It's just about the turtle.
Happened around a turtle.
Yeah.
Happened
upon a turtle, you flip it over and watch it start to burn in the desert, and how do you feel at that moment? Is the question.
Oh.
Which is you're supposed to just be like, oh, you flip it back over.
Turtle for the turtle.
Bad. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
To see if you can empathize with the turtle.
Why would the turtle start to burn right away? I don't understand the question. That's probably what I would say. What do you mean? If I flipped over a turtle, it would start to burn in the desert? I don't think so. Is this turtle Moses?
Yeah.
Is he a burning bush? He'd be fine. He'd probably try to roll over.
You wouldn't do well in this test.
Oh, well, I guess not. That's a bad question. I'm not a robot, so I would be fine saying that.
Yeah, that's what they all say, Larry.
Well, if I'm not a robot, then I'm pretty sure I could walk into that test and be like, I don't care what you ask me, I'm definitely a robot. Hopefully you don't shoot me.
Yeah.
You should be able to figure out that I'm not a robot. But I don't know. Blade Runner's a scary place, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That's the only thing I remember. I saw that movie when I was young. I think my dad caught me watching it. I wasn't supposed to be watching it, so it was kind of
There's nothing that bad in it, yeah.
People were getting shot, I think.
Yeah. There's some violence.
It came in at a very good time.
They do that cool thing in that movie where the violence is against robots, and the audience knows that they're robots, but the violence is so extreme, they'll show, like, blood spurting out of a woman's chest and stuff like that. She gets shot in the back. And it's like, oh, well, it's a robot, so it's fine. Yeah, no big deal.
Don't worry about it. AI is not going to take over the world.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You got me all over the map tonight.
Yeah, this is, we said last week was weedy, but this one is, you know what it is, folks, is just because we're live streaming while we're doing this, so we're like probably a little nervous, I guess. It's just a new
You're
thing.
the one that keeps looking at the screen.
I'm just seeing how many viewers we got. Shout out to
we should definitely not do that.
We have 2 hardcore viewers who are just sticking with us on this one, so shout out to those guys. Type in the chat. Tell us what's up. Tell us what you think. How's the sound quality, etc.
We need a good topic, though. It just hasn't been a...
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this globe thing was pissing me off, but I want to know about it before I...
Yeah. We should get some...
Well, it was just about racism in Boston and, the whole old story, but it just seemed to be a really poorly portrayed article, and I want to actually...
Yeah, it sounds like they could have made a valid point, but the journalist
hearing
just...
a lot, and it's just...
Yeah.
I haven't been reading a lot, so I got to figure that out a little bit first.
Journalism's weird. Like, it reminds me of the way we treat and pay teachers. Like, you are in charge of... For teachers, you say, like, you're in charge of educating the next generation of thinkers, and...
Then we have people that aren't educators telling them what the standards are.
Yeah.
Are educators, but...
Yeah, that's weird.
Don't work with kids. How about that?
Fine. Yeah. But then we pay them, like, $30,000 a year.
They have great benefits.
Oh, yeah.
And you do only work 9 months out of the year.
Yeah, but you,
technically.
You're supposed to be working on your curriculum and, like, doing shit.
Now you have to test. You have to...
Yeah.
You have to be ready for their yearly test, I believe. So.
Did you ever see that show $1 Million Extreme, the Sam Hyde show? It's like an Adult Swim thing.
Yeah.
There's one skit about a teacher, and one line from that was really funny, where he's like, just this, like, bedraggled, like, depressed high school teacher. He's like, the girls don't even turn me on anymore. And at one point he says, if I applied for my job now, I wouldn't get it. So it's just like, So there's that, and then the journalist, it's like, okay, yeah, your job is to report truth to the nation and speak truth to power. You're the fourth estate holding the other third estates accountable.
Please do your job.
Please do your job. Here's $25,000 a year, entry-level journalism.
Cool, but then we watch Matt Lauer and these guys go
Matt
down.
Lauer's not a journalist.
Titans. Well, okay, they're not, because they're the front runners on our news system.
I know, he's an entertainment...
$28 million or whatever a year he was getting paid with, his
the stupid
Helicopter
shows,
footages and
even Fox and Friends, where they're just like a bunch of people sitting around on a couch and just talking about the news and stuff. Matt Lauer was doing that. He had his chair or whatever.
Bill O'Reilly, same deal.
Bill O'Reilly, Tucker Carlson, they're all entertainment moguls who know how to entertain a television audience using politics and using the news. I don't consider them journalists. Like,
But those are the okay. But you
compare
should,
them to
you should okay, but then you should, because those are the people that spoke to the people that just elected 45.
I think I'm right.
I know that
you all
I know that you're right. But you
I'm not going to
know
change my
at the same
correct
time
position.
The fact that you're right doesn't matter because I'm right too.
You're right in that they're all considered viable journalists.
By
the majority.
By a majority.
The majority opinion.
By a majority.
Yeah.
Just let that settle on you. Sometimes I don't think, people like to deal with that. Especially from our little corner of the liberal world. Is that, the right wing, like you say, oh, they're going to take over the world. No, they're not. But we just learned that, if they all stand together, that they can, elect whatever they want.
Yeah, I saw somebody, Asher Wolf on Twitter, this hacker chick, was like, yeah, the cyberspace manifesto was right. The internet did evolve into leaderless communities, and they're called Gamergate, and they're called, the neo-Nazi movement and stuff like that. And it was like, yeah, they knew how to do it. They knew how to do it right. And
no, I think that's wrong. That's just a tendril of the whole. That's not it.
You can
draw
draw
one tiny line.
You can draw a direct line from Gamergate to the Trump presidency to.
But you're talking about a net of lines that are myriad.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
Those aren't necessarily.
Yeah.
Those are big. You could say that those are larger, broader bandwidth lines, but it's not what the cyberspace manifesto was talking about. Was just no. It's all.
All the lines.
It's
all the viewpoints.
Everything.
All
Yes.
All self-governing.
They are. Well, they are saying basically that it is becoming God.
Yeah.
That's what you would have to say to someone on the other side of the fence who didn't get it.
Right.
Be like, no. There's going to be a new God. It's going to be this guy. He's nobody.
This
it's just a thing.
Mass of information. Information becomes God.
You look up and you see God. That's actually going around. We just can't see it.
Yeah.
And that's literally what's happening right now. You look up. The only thing that's really that you could see, if you could see it, would be compressed algorithms from space.
Yeah, just encrypted and unencrypted data floating around in the air. That's That's why it always comes down to when, friggin' Michael Flynn is blah, 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 and Omarosa and Bill Clinton's still flying on the pedo plane or whatever, is just like, none of this matters.
Immaterial.
It's, completely ephemeral because, like you said, eventually at some point everything is just going to be made up of zeros and ones flowing from computer to computer.
It was like one thing that I sent back to my old bosses at one company that I worked at, which was the Fair Labor Standards Act, and it was a particular passage, and I highlighted one thing for that, and it was, the reason is immaterial. And I just handed it to him because it was something about time and driving, and it was all nonsense. I read it, it all made sense for what I wanted to say to them, but the only thing I needed to highlight was the reason is immaterial.
It just doesn't matter.
Right. It was about, going back to correct mistakes, where it was like, no, the reason is immaterial. It's work time and it's compensable. Go.
Yeah.
But
right.
The reason is immaterial is the only thing that really mattered on all the other bullshit on the page. So it's the same as that, where it's like, yeah, you guys can talk about this, you guys can talk about that. All useless information. It doesn't actually help anything.
Do people know on an intuitive level, on a visceral level, do people understand what's happening? And they see, every squawk about, the kids all day just look at screens and they're glued to their phones and stuff like that. Is that just some sort of anxiety statement about just knowing deep down that that's just where we're headed. That's what we're.
Well, it's
you know,
different
Yeah.
than what most of us are used to. So yes, that's hard for us to envision. Is that's really what's going on,
Yeah.
and I do think that that's not necessarily great, and we do have to work away from that to realize the physical world around us more.
Okay.
You can't. I don't falling into that. For me, that's definitely falling into the dark space because the world around you is a beautiful place. You should interact with it as much as you can.
Yeah.
But that phone, as I know, professionally, is the lifeline to everything that I have to do in my life to make sure that everything is okay with my family and myself.
Oh yeah.
So it's
We
a
never
necessary part of our existence now.
You
do all need to.
never take a step back. We would never rewind the clock on
Well, you can't.
cell phones and
But-
things like that.
Right, but dirty hands are still what makes America. I hate to sound like an old cliche,
Yeah.
but all the phone and all the media and all those devices can't teach you how to appreciate what really happens to make all the things that you see and read about be. Because they don't often just come from nothing. The internet did.
Yeah.
But it still came from information. But it kind of did come from nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why it's another cool thing. But I'm surprised you let me get away with being like it's the new God's comment and just not jump on that at all. But I mean, it is.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean,
Okay.
how do you define God? What is God?
Well, for
Other
me,
than-
that would be as good an explanation as any.
Yeah.
That's all I would say.
Yeah.
There wasn't life. There was life. Now there's a different life for us all.
Right.
That's pretty profound.
And not only that, we're all going to join together into one consciousness at some point. And
The
that's
unity in the end product, I think, is the interesting part.
Yeah.
Because we all already slave ourselves out to that. It doesn't matter what corner of the world you're from.
Right.
The furthest corner you're from, then the only thing you really want to do is get to a place where you can tell everyone you're okay, probably, at the least. Or to interact at some point, unless you want to be off the grid.
Yeah, but then you're sort of surrendering yourself to a shitty life to an extent. You're losing a lot. You're sacrificing a lot to be a
We're going to
hermit.
see more and more of that.
Yeah.
That will be where the population segments too. And that's where the other world will start, where it's going to be like, yeah, you guys had a great idea, but all the poor people are now here, so you're fucked.
Yeah, we've coalesced all the poor people to
I'm
strengthen
talking,
our consciousness algorithm.
Now I'm on the 2020 kick, where it's like, what's it going to be later on? What's it going to be? Is that frontier of I'm getting off the grid and being self-sustaining going to be something that survives or doesn't?
I think.
Because self-sustaining stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I think there's going to be two camps. I think there'll be a camp of people who want to keep their dirty hands and still interact with the real world. There's going to be a group of people that say, "Fuck that! The real world sucks," and I'm hopping into the collective consciousness or whatever.
Well, still within that there is a life, but that will be like the idea of like the city life, where it's very enclosed, it's very encapsulated, it's very kind of a little bit more
Urban.
droid-like.
Yeah.
Where your time is set, scheduled by an entity not of yourself.
Right, but your consciousness could just be somewhere else. You could just basically. They say in the Animatrix, your flesh is a relic. Surrender your flesh to us, and a new universe awaits you.
I'll take the blue pill. I'm just kidding. Which one was a good one?
The
I don't
blue pill
remember.
keeps you in the Matrix. The red pill breaks you out of the Matrix.
That is an interesting question.
Yeah.
And now that we've all seen it, it'd be interesting to see how everyone would. If called en masse, what would you like? Would you like to know that your whole world is really a nothing? And that you're a complete moron, you have no fucking clue what's actually going on?
Yeah.
Or would you like to continue on as you are, in your position of wherever you are? It's an interesting question for, if you pose it to every American. Wait, what? Do you want us to, do you want to all be brief like the president? I'm just kidding.
I wonder what would happen. Oh, that's something we can talk about. The Blink-182 guy.
Oh, I thought you were going to have something about Russia and our president. You
No,
just
fuck
talked
that.
about Blink-182.
No, Russia and the president stuff, that's part of the ephemeral stuff. But,
It's ephemeral?
yeah. I think it is. In light of all the technology and stuff like that, in light of the way things are going, like, all of these things are just power plays and grabs to try to stop the impending.
At this point, I'm starting to just get suspect because of how long it's taking. And the only thing we've really heard from is at least one indictment.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that gives me pause, where it's like, oof. Because that obviously tells me that they're trying to build a case.
Yeah,
Which means that they at least have something to build a case on.
Mm.
I would think that, especially with him in power, that if they didn't have a semblance of a case, he would at least be able to pressure them a little bit. You would think on the inside, at least in Trump's world, he would obviously be trying to pressure this to shut down. Every day he probably thinks about how I can shut down Mueller's investigation.
Yeah, there's representatives that are trying to introduce legislation.
You can probably go back to his book, and he's probably doing exactly what he's doing in his book. Oh, this is what you do when people say, you owe them money. You just do this, and then you do this, and then you do that.
Say, I'm embezzling money? No, you're embezzling money. What about all this money that you're embezzling?
I'm no longer part of that money. I've given that money to my family. Didn't you not do that? What?
What's a blind trust?
Huh?
Yeah, I just don't see anything happening. I'm like you. I'm just.
Oh, neither do I.
I think it's tired.
That's the only thing I find odd is that it hasn't gone away. I expected this to have gone away by now.
Right.
But the only thing I've heard is one lousy indictment. Which tells me that they're really chewing on this.
Yeah, he might not even be
Is there enough fat for them to be chewing this long, or are they left wing kind of? We're just holding out hope.
I think the media just wants to make money, so they need to keep it. The media needs to keep it in the news cycle. They need to keep it front and center.
It's out of the news cycle right now. That's why when you brought up Blink-182, which I'm sure is relevant.
Oh yeah.
In its way.
Right. Well, I don't know if you know what the lead singer of Blink-182 has been up to since disbanding Blink-182.
I have to tell you that I do not care. But is it politically motivated?
Well, it has to do with UFOs.
Oh, so this is the lead singer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nut job, maybe. Tell me otherwise. So I don't want to. I feel like you're in his camp right now, so I don't want to disparage him too terribly.
Oh, that's okay. You can make fun of Tom DeLonge.
Obviously, a dickbag musician. That's the worst band ever of all time.
Blink-182.
Awful.
Worst band of all time.
Oh my god. That is literally what the 90s fucking threw up on us. In my opinion.
Alright. Well, they made millions. And millions.
Zillions.
Millions
sure
of
they
dollars.
did. So didn't fucking the New Kids on the Block. And I'll give them their credit too, I guess. 98 Degrees and every other thing that made bazillions of dollars including Matt Lauer, who is still going to have millions and millions and millions of dollars left over.
Yeah.
After all this shit goes down.
But he's not. Matt Lauer is not going to start a production company with the express intention of releasing declassified material to the public that Tom DeLonge apparently figured out by doing research on his own enough that
Tom DeLonge
is
sounds like a Frenchman. I automatically don't trust him.
The lead singer of the
Okay. This is Blink-182.
The 182 Blink.
I've never heard of them, but you go ahead.
Yes. He pieced together all the stuff, so much so that apparently the CIA and the NSA and the Department of Defense and stuff were willing to talk to him, and now he has a company.
I hear about this. Okay.
Formed with ex-NSA, ex-CIA people that are on his board of directors and in his company as
Larry's
C-level.
face just changed from one to the other.
Yeah. And they just released, and the New York Times just published, declassified, U.S. government certified. There's a chain of authority and a chain of whatever, chain of custody that shows these documents are all valid.
Okay.
Of U.S. Air Force pilots using Raytheon sensors.
Yep.
To document UFO sightings. What's that?
I may have laid out one of these things.
Laid out an alien, like punch.
No, I laid out something for Raytheon that I'm probably not supposed to talk about.
Hell yeah. That's the most WikiLeaks on weed shit that we've probably done so far. Yeah, we're leaking stuff here, folks.
I have no fucking clue what this thing did, but it stood up and looked around and...
This thing was mounted on...
It needed another thing to work.
It wasn't that, because this sensor was mounted on the bottom of a F-16 or something like that.
Okay.
You know, so this... The footage they have is the pilot banking... So actually turning left, turning this way, banking this way. And the sensor was sort of looking down here, and he was sort of circling this object that was actually a cluster of objects, or there was more objects around them that were similar. And it was flying at the same airspeed as the fighter jet, but it was like circular shaped. And it looked like a fucking flying saucer, and it sort of panned and tilted.
I'm pretty sure that the flying saucer thing is because there's flying saucers. I don't think somebody just came up with that shit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I believe that, it's probably at the end product of if you threw something through the air, that's probably the most aerodynamic thing you could throw.
Yeah. So like...
Just think about it. Like, how far could you throw anything?
But this thing, so if it's like a frisbee, it would be going like...
No, but this would be a frisbee set with two... It's got a dome on top, a dome on bottom, and frisbee on the side.
This thing would look more like a top.
So it would be... No, right. It's like you're throwing like a spinning
and a pointy
top.
bottom. And a pointy bottom,
If you threw it right, it would go forever.
Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, usually those things are parallel to the wind, so if you throw it, it sort of like finds the wind, and glides in the wind. This thing turned like this, and faced its wide side against the wind, and was still going like as fast as a fighter jet. So there's some sort of
it already
weird...
sounds like this was multiple, and
there was a bunch of these things.
At the same time.
Yeah,
So
they had one looking
it's a
at
little
it.
Borg mentality right there, right?
And there's a whole shitload of them around them, and you can hear the pilots are swearing.
It's like a net that's flying.
Yeah.
It's like a flying carpet.
Yeah, pilots are like, what the fuck
different
is that?
entities. Right.
Yeah. So it's like, there was another one. They had two of these things that were like, certified Air Force or whatever, Navy.
What the guys? Do you see
this?
this?
That's what they were like.
Pilots were like, guys.
The radar op and the pilot were both like, what the fuck? And
is anybody else seeing this?
Yep.
This probably got on tape.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're swearing like, what the fuck? It's awesome.
Don't shoot me!
Yeah. Whatever you do not fire on that thing, because we don't know what it's going to come back with.
No, that's one of those things where that would be interesting. Would be the government to be like, fire on it! For that guy who's flying next to whatever the fuck that was, going, fuck you!
Yeah.
Fucking firing on that.
No, sir, I will not.
I am good.
Yeah.
Wingman, take the shot, bitch.
Yeah.
But who knows?
The plane just flies
or not,
in the air.
Because that's not how we train our pilots.
They're supposed
They
to
were
follow
fire,
orders.
they would fire.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Who knows? That's why it comes down to the pilot.
That UFO would fuck that pilot up.
I'm glad we don't know about those kind of pilots. Like we know about all the other pilots, like our FAA pilots, and all the guys who fly drunk.
Well, they're the fucking
every day.
Losers like the journalists and
think
teachers
about
too.
how many flights go every day, guy drunk?
I don't know. A lot.
It's gotta be hundreds.
Yeah.
It's gotta be hundreds a day. Oh, worldwide, at least hundreds. Probably thousands. That job has gotta be the fucking weirdest job in the goddamn world.
Yeah, that's just a screenshot of the thing. So apparently Tom DeLonge is onto some shit. I like, you know who else did, speaking of like boy bands that did alien shit with their millions, Robbie Williams, the Millennium guy.
Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Millennium.
Oh, wait.
And I know we're falling from grace.
Okay.
That guy. You know, he made millions with his he was in a boy band in England.
Oh, now I kind of remember this.
He wears
guy.
track
English
suits.
guy.
Yeah.
He went away.
Yeah, he's been working with SETI.
Okay. Yeah.
Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. So he's
I maybe sort of half liked him. Maybe.
He's cool. He's a cool guy.
But yeah, flash in the pan, sort of. Yeah, he had, okay, yeah. Now I'm remembering his music at least. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
But that was like a flash in the pan. He was kind of there for 5-6 years maybe.
Yeah, but he had a whole boy band career before that. Then he was his own thing for 5 or 6 years. So he had bank at that point.
I'm proud to say I had no idea he was in boy band.
Hey, Justin Timberlake's kind of fun.
You know what? I give him all sorts of credit.
Yeah.
He actually can
go out there.
You can give that boy a guitar. You can play anything, and that man will make music. I'll give him full credit. The rest of those dipshits, though.
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
But they did give us Justin Timberlake.
Yes, the NSYNC
That's
boys.
what I say.
One of the Backstreet Boys got caught in a harassment scandal.
Sure they did.
Yeah.
But Bell. What was it? Bell Biv DeVoe. Remember that? They were good. I'm just kidding. I had a whole.
Dude, that's the
Christmas
Philly, Motown Philly. In that
Yeah.
in the Boys to Men song, they go Boys to Men, ABC, BBD.
The East Coast Family.
The East Coast
Never
Family.
skipped a beat.
Yeah.
Maybe I know all that song.
I was at a party in Mission Hill, and I was.
All the Philly stakes.
This is a good story. I was at a party in Mission Hill probably 7-8 years ago, and I was trashed. Just probably had 6 beers and a bunch of joints and stuff like that. I remember turning, and all the black kids at the party were just staring at me, because I'd probably been acting kind of belligerent, but not shouting slurs or anything, just acting like a drunk idiot. Yeah. And I turned, they're all kind of staring at me, and I put up 3 fingers, and I was like, guys, Boys to Men, ABC, BBD. That's all I gotta say. And the intellectual black kid, the kind of skinny one with the glasses, was like, I fucking love this guy. I was like, yes. That's my Boys to Men story.
You know what's funny? Is not all you need sometimes. You
Little-
just need one of that group that you meet to be like, you know what? Yeah.
This guy's alright.
Yeah. And the rest of the group's like, alright.
Alright, that's cool. Yeah.
Alright, it's fine. Let's see how this goes. That initial meeting of people.
The tribes.
That's what we're losing, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're
We're
losing.
gonna do that face to face.
Oh, no, people just like to,
Yeah, they like to join an online tribe
well,
and
be a tough guy.
yeah.
But none of us really ever want to be a dumb tough guy. I mean, all the negative tweets that I get is just like, oh, come on. You're not really gonna.
Yeah, you're not gonna do any of the stuff that you're saying you're gonna do.
Right, but it's like, who are you following? You're saying that you're gonna punch a WikiLeaks on weed episode thing in the face. Where it's like, yeah, okay. What do you mean? Why would you? Don't you understand that when you say that, that's kind of ridiculous?
Yeah, you're
None
arguing.
of us know who we are, but it's like, oh no, I'm very upset
Yeah,
with you. WikiLeaks on weed, or it's like, whoa, okay.
yeah.
Who said that?
It's a podcast. You're arguing with a podcast on Twitter, yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah, and he said you have a podcast to make yourself feel important, and it's like, yeah, so what?
Right.
Yeah.
But this is the guy that would yell at you in traffic, but, if, let's say he would yell at someone in traffic,
Exactly.
and then if that person was just like, no, you were actually wrong, and got out of their car, that person would probably be the person that wouldn't get out of their car, and be like, oh shit,
Right.
what the fuck's happening right now? Let me put on my window, let me get on my phone, oh my god. this guy just actually wants to talk to you and be like, what the fuck is your problem? But your first response is probably going to be, roll the window up, call on the phone, the police, oh my goodness, a man just got out of his car, he's very upset.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Instead of the person that you portray. Well, you know,
yeah. We got our 2,000-pound steel cage around us, and we can say whatever we want to whoever we want. Usually,
but all of us know we don't want to open the door. We don't
Yeah.
want to get out. We don't want to have an altercation.
No,
That's not what it's about. No one. It should never get to that.
That's the one thing.
But if you're too afraid of it to happen, then
yeah,
it's just a problem.
That's the one thing I have in favor of common sense is that statistically, the large majority of people go through their day being considerate enough to everybody else, to being polite, not fucking with other people too much. You know, society just tends to
You know what you're
forward.
supposed to say.
You know what you're supposed to say and
That's
do.
the real Borg mentality or the hive mentality when you're sitting in a crowded place and you're not with your friends and you're just kind of getting through whatever scenario you're in.
Yeah.
You know what to say, you know what not to say.
Absolutely.
Instinctively.
Yeah.
You should. Especially when you're alone. That's what I like. Is this like, yeah, let's say you're walking through this scenario alone. It's different than if you're walking through this scenario and you're not alone.
Absolutely.
And you should be able to appreciate that when I'm walking through this scenario alone, I treat it this way because. Why? Why did I treat it this way? And why would that change if I was with people that were my friends? Why would all of a sudden I be a different person?
Yeah.
When people do shift quickly just because of I'm with my group. It's the whole tribal instinct.
Yeah.
But if you were by yourself, just try to be that person.
Yeah, just be consistent. And be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. That would be hard. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, it's
I
tough.
might have just thought of that. So, maybe I don't try that at home. But I'm going to. Maybe I do.
You should work to better, one should work to better oneself while also being consistent in the real world. I mean, that's, well, look, we talk about free speech a lot on this podcast, and that's the big thing, is that, like, you know.
How free is it? Your speech.
Well, I don't want to sound like anti.
Because we know what you can and can't say. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what you can and can't say, and I feel like in the inalienable nature of free speech, that there is lost the idea that the world would still be better if people were generally considerate and generally kind and generally well-meaning and well-to-do. And in bringing that up, you get called a pussy and a snowflake and...
Because you can't have democracy in every situation.
No, I'm not saying people... this is not against disagreement, where, you know, the disagreement's fine.
I'm sorry, you're right. Continue.
Yeah. I'm not saying we shouldn't disagree. I'm just saying, like, that the world would be better if people were kind is an idea that's over here on one side, and whether or not free speech should be an inalienable right are two separate.
Can we have a do
thoughts.
unto others as you would have done unto you side? That's my side.
That's the same side. That's the.
No, is it?
Do you want people to
do unto others as you would have done unto you? I think it's a statement that people think about, say, and never actually realize that would actually solve a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is that the idea of do unto others is, because you want people to treat you well, right? You want.
That would just display everyone's character immediately. If you realize that do unto others as you have done unto you means I'm a bad person and I really want to rob you, then it would kind of make it difficult for them.
Mm.
But if you're a person, I'm of good faith and I'm here for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Then yes, the world would be a better place.
Right. So there's just a movement towards a general betterness of character, which is not to be hindered by the ideas of free speech, but it's a forest for the trees sort of thing, or all our attention is on the freedom of speech, and the attention's getting drawn away from the idea of an advanced civil society that's generally peaceful and generally good. And I think we're pretty close. We're doing well statistically as a society of just knowing how to
Statistically is one thing. I don't think that together we are united or anything. I think that, again, it's, I keep coming back to it. I really think it's not the 25% that really believes and the 25% that's just going along for the ride.
Yeah.
And the 25% on the other side, the left, whatever, the right.
Yeah.
The 25%, I just think that 50% needs to, make a compact and be like, you know what, I think we are all of sound mind and body. Can we do something so that we know who they are? The rest of us, because it is commonly divided. Even go down to the election. I mean, it only came down to a couple million votes.
Right.
So was it really a couple million, or was it less than that?
Well, she won the popular vote, and he won.
Oh, that's right. She actually won the popular vote, but because of the ancient electoral stupid college system, he won.
Right.
Okay.
It always.
Right. I forgot. Sometimes I just like to highlight it with my stupidity.
Yeah, and well, in all the modern elections, the Democrats always lose like that. They always win the popular vote and lose the electoral college. It's never happened the other way around, where the Republicans have won the popular vote and lost the electoral college.
When you say that, though, doesn't it not make sense to you when you say it? As a person who likes the electoral college.
Yeah,
when they lose the popular vote, which means the amount of votes cast.
What do you mean by makes sense?
In favor of one versus the other. And then the electoral college, which heavily favored, in this particular circumstance, one over the other. That doesn't not make sense to you at any point?
I mean, so
the fact that statistically and mathematically is possible, I know it's a small chance. But it happens a couple times in our lifetime, which is odd.
Right. It has to do with the counties.
It has to do with population.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which is divvied up by county. And
which is divvied up by numbers, which is all a fucking number, which is a fucking number, which ends up being a number.
Right.
Yeah, a number of voters that voted one way.
Yeah.
Versus a number of voters that voted
this other way. Yeah. It's just a simple thing.
That number doesn't matter.
Well, it made total sense when I looked at the Trump county map.
It can make total sense if you
look at this.
Throw math into something that doesn't need math. Does it need math if we're voting?
Yeah, look at that map.
Now.
Look at that map. That's the counties that voted for Trump. So you're looking at a splotch near Austin, splotch near Denver, splotch near Portland and LA and San Francisco, and then a little bit in the Northeast. That doesn't even include Maine.
Okay.
The majority of counties in Maine voted for Trump. So I'm not saying it's good, but you asked me if it makes sense, and I saw that map, and I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense.
Because you think the left would obviously be crushed.
They were.
Otherwise.
Yeah, and the reason why the popular vote is because of LA.
Popular vote.
LA, San Francisco, New York, Austin, Portland.
Which is where a lot of people live.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Why does it matter where the people live as to how they think?
If we're being real.
Because of your class system.
It's because of the occupations. There's ranchers and farmers and the like. That.
What the fuck does that mean? We all vote.
Yeah.
I don't. Just to say that because of where you vote, it bears a different weight. should make every voter pissed off or happy.
Yeah, well, it made a lot of people very, very, very happy.
Because your vote
this time around.
is worth it. You're on a bell curve. We vote for the President of the United States on a bell curve.
It's because of states. It's because
it doesn't matter.
States'
you
rights.
can take math and you can break it down into however you want.
Yeah,
the end product of this math is that there were more votes for one person and less votes for another person. If you think that the math would run the same way every time, then you should look back at that map and know that it shouldn't.
Right.
Okay, so then if that's the map and it was that close, but they actually won the popular vote, then we're still doing okay. There's just a lot of people that are afraid of change.
Right.
Yes.
But do you understand that the votes cast by somebody in New York City are viewed as like a life-crushing decision to somebody in Wyoming because of the 40 years of
they still have
the
their
toppling
own
of the economy?
rights.
Yeah, but they can't. I mean, they can't secede
Well,
if they wanted to, or they can't like.
you would think that then you would think that Massachusetts would be under a state of siege every day. But we're not. Nothing will ever change here. These numbers will also prove that over time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter that this little tiny blue section that has a lot of money and votes a specific way will ever change. There's nothing they can do. So, I mean...
Yeah, there's nothing we can do to change the culture of Idaho.
Right. So I'm saying that these numbers and that map can be good, but that still shouldn't change who casts votes for who.
I just want to be careful of disparaging an institution because I didn't get my way, or,
It's something that men wrote hundreds of years ago because it made sense at the time.
Likewise, the Constitution and the First Amendment, the Second
We
Amendment.
should all be able to
Amendment.
change. Like, if you ran this through a computer, it would be like, most votes should win. Most votes should win. All the nuance to me is lost just because of how much you want to throw into it. Because none of it will ever change that map. Or it may. All it will do will go more blue. That's as red as it can be.
Yeah, it really can only go in one
it
direction.
lost the popular vote because of the way that people voted. I mean, to me, it's very simple. And I know that the Electoral College was a great system that they had to use because votes were counted on horseback and people lived really far away, and Oregon really needed... There was only 200 people in Oregon. Or whoever.
Right.
So yeah, I get it then. Now, it makes no sense.
I think if we're talking about that, I would love to see a full repeal of a rework of the entire system, including having representatives.
It's easy. You just say most votes wins, done.
I'm with Bits over here from the libertarian thing. Like, why do we have a president? Why do we have a Senate? Why do we have 100 people that decide 300 million people's
I like
lives?
that. Where it's like, no, we have a president, but he's a literal and figurative figurehead.
We're gonna treat him like the royal fucking
Is,
family.
right, but he's not gonna. Right, he's gonna be an automated robot. He's never gonna, or he'll very rarely say anything that you don't already know.
Yeah.
Because we've already told you guys about this. The president will now speak about this. This is what will happen. Here are the words from President blah 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 blah. Yes, that'd be great. It went through this whole cycle before it actually came out of the stupid president's mouth. Who cares who the president is at that point?
Yeah.
That would actually probably be the low man on the totem pole at that point. If you could do it the right way.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You're kind of on the way out. You've kind of lost it.
Yeah.
You just be president for the next 4 years. Or we'll compromise and just be like every president is 6 years. So for the next 6 years, you'll be president, and you'll just give our word out, and then you can retire. And that's kind of like your way out, instead of now being 88 years old, still like, no, I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, that guy would have already been like president.
What?
Because you could make him president and it wouldn't matter. I make a presidential order. It's got to go through Parliament first, or it's got to go through the fucking House and Senate Majority Leadership first. But that's what I say.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's the starting point. Where it's like,
Right.
great, crazy president dipshit said this. Went to the House, got fucking denied immediately, and fucking dropped back down to the pit of who caresville because he's not really the guy.
Right.
And we'll continue. That would be a great government, I think.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, a president may have a great idea that the Parliament would have to, or the Senate Judiciary Committee, or whoever the fuck you want. You know what, President? You're a fucking genius. We like that. We're doing it. Do it. And then we do it.
Yeah.
And it'd be great.
I
like that. I like that a lot.
Do we secretly already have that with the
Why
deep
do
state?
we not want to do that just because everybody else does that?
The parliamentary system thing?
Well, I guess more of just like all you would have to really do is rework it. He's not the spear point. He's the guy holding the stick.
Right.
And this, so he's just marching forward, telling you everything that's going on, and then all the government work is done.
Yeah.
Around it.
Yeah. The president's job is generally a comforting position.
It would be more of like a
You're supposed to just be
formality.
there to, yeah.
It'd be like, he is now president. It would be like, the next Khan. Who cares? I've been watching Netflix on.
Genghis Khan?
Yeah, no, but not. It's Oh no! I forgot his name.
All right, well, let's move on. Yeah.
Famous Explorer. No. Oh, it's a Netflix original. It's really good.
Khan?
Oh, I just lost it.
Marco.
No, it's after Genghis. Marco Polo. Yeah.
There he is.
Thank you.
Okay, Marco Polo.
Oh, I just lost my YouTube mind right now. Yeah, Marco Polo.
No,
Netflix.
hold on, going back to what we were saying before.
Got some damn good kung fu in there.
Why is there kung fu in Marco Polo?
Because he was taken by the Mongols. He was given to the Mongol king by his father.
Okay.
And he was basically a slave, but he was a blind man who was left to train him. And the blind man's kung fu is unbelievable.
Of course.
He beats the ever-living shit out of this Latin. And basically ends up, being friends after, the episode. I don't know. I'm still.
You have to assimilate your enemies. That's what the guys in Fast and Furious do. They don't defeat
This
their
guy
bad
was
guys,
an
they,
enemy. Like the
assimilate
blind
them.
kung fu guy was someone taken already,
Yeah.
but assimilated into the Mongol.
Yeah.
Because they were really leaders of the other side of the wall forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we already have with the deep state? Do we already have like a figurehead government, and then it's 80% of the people?
This is Larry from WikiLeaks on weed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or rather, I would have to say, of course, I would hope that there were other minds actually working the scenario. To be totally honest.
Right. Because I don't have any trust.
That would be so much. That would be so much better. That's what I knew to be true. But that can never be possible, so we're kind of fucked on that one. That would kind of defeat the whole purpose. So, it's kind of that whole cloak and dagger.
Right.
Jump under the cloak and get the dagger, or shut the fuck up and don't worry about it. 45 will be 45 for 45.
Yeah. I said this before about the election too, is that like, I did not vote for Donald Trump, but I could understand why somebody did. And I can understand why somebody did more than I can understand why somebody would vote for Clinton, thinking that she was actually a good candidate and actually would be really good for the country.
I wish I had voted harder for Barry Sanders if possible.
Yeah, I was a Sanders guy.
It's not possible.
No.
It's the defeatist attitude I have towards voting in this particular state.
Right.
I should move out of state so that I should move to Ohio and just be like, yes! Woo! That's like 7 times more than I used to do in Massachusetts.
Yeah, there you go. That's the thing is like, yeah, if the liberals want change, like you have to move to Ohio and Indiana, and you have to move to a swing state. Yeah,
Every time
Virginia.
you vote, it's I don't know how many times more, but you could probably build a website on it. And be like, well,
yeah.
if you moved out to Alabama, your vote would be worth 12.
Well, yeah. Instead of like 1/4.
Yeah,
Like
well,
it's
yeah,
like-
the 3/5 or 3/5.
Yeah, our vote in Massachusetts is it's a, yeah.
Less
Only-
than that, but that's not even funny. That's definitely not funny. We probably need to start thinking about that too, because I know I'm a little on the, well, a little brought up the race card. And
Well, you
is
know,
Boston, more racist
No,
than anywhere else?
we're
How
gonna
about
just
that?
practice-
That's what I want to ask. Is Boston more racist than anywhere else?
before we get into that, I'll just say about the live streaming
Who
stuff.
knows?
Let's just be consistent. Let's just be who we are.
That would be right.
And-
Do unto us you have done
Yeah.
unto you. That would help against. That would help. With
I'm not going to
people
censor myself
who
too
are
much.
racist, because you'd have to be like, oh shit, I can't do that.
Yeah. So yeah,
Or the other way around, I guess.
the question posed was, is Boston more racist than?
That's
Any place
well,
else.
Boston just raised the ugly veil of racism that lives within Boston and its suburbs and its
Yeah.
healthcare industry.
You're
and
referencing a
its
Boston Globe article.
schools and its sports and all of us.
My take-
The next one will be. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think that was 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. My take is that Boston probably isn't as racist as other places, or is no more or less, which is a really fucking low benchmark because most places are supremely racist.
It's what I'm trying to
So,
get at.
yeah,
Where it's
yeah,
like,
so-
wow, yeah, throw the spotlight on us, but
Yeah.
don't throw the spotlight anywhere else.
My problem with Boston is that they're not consistent because Boston fronts as a very liberal, progressive, diverse city. And it's not because it's just segregated into neighborhoods. And Dorchester is where all the black people live.
Is that unlike everywhere else?
No, but that doesn't matter. I mean, if everywhere else is shit, then this is shit. And that's still shit
Well, then that's something.
on a shit stick.
They
Yeah.
should all be on the DSA bandwagon then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think
'Cause that would help.
a lot of them are, yeah. So my take on the Globe thing is that, like, yeah, Boston's really racist, but sounds like some shit-ass journalism that they were poorly doing.
It didn't seem like
Yeah.
their sources came from really sourced places.
Did
It
you-
seemed
didn't
like
you
that was
mention
a
that,
lot
like,
of-
Did you mention that somebody, like, literally, it says in the article, like, I thought to reach out to them, but didn't?
Well, that was the Adam Jones guy. Yeah, who referenced him just in how Boston is racist culture and
Yeah.
in Fenway, and then they asked on the radio station I was listening to that, well, did you reach out and talk to Adam Jones to get comment? No.
No, well, it should have, but probably didn't.
Yeah, I probably should have. In hindsight, I probably should have done that. Okay.
All right,
So what
good
sort
job.
What sort of stuff did you do? There was another story where they referenced, a woman of color who felt like she wasn't treated well in a hospital, and then they got in contact with that woman and was, she's now, in her, I'm sure almost 90, and had no this story is current, but so she had no recollection of, what her symptoms were, anything that actually happened.
Yeah.
Turns out that her son was actually friends with the writer of the story.
Yeah, so it just poor.
So it was just very poor journalism. I want Gleb
Yeah.
Traversky to jump butt ugly on all them, because it doesn't seem that they really did more than a Google search
Yeah.
and then
And
ran
that-
with a story and then loosely tried to tie it in with stuff that they didn't bother to.
No.
With like or it's like the one guy who was like, yeah, that those people yelled that at me. Some guy got banished. His name is like lost in the ether. Like the Red Sox know this person was reprimanded. The police know. But then I was like, well, if the police know, then there had to have been something done on paper about this. So we should know who that guy's name is. We're like, well, no, they don't want to release the name. Or it was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
If the police were made aware and anything was done in general, then there should be some sort of record of
Right.
who this man was and if he was banished for life and what did he say is the whole thing that I've always wondered about that. Where it's like, well, what did you say? Did you literally yell? I know he didn't yell the N-word out. Because if he did, 1,000 people would have wanted to be heard about their story, about how they heard him say and what he said, and we would have heard it.
Right.
But he must have said something that was, little, some sort of, we don't understand, sort of white Aryan thing that you can yell to them that will make them upset.
Oh, so, okay, yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean that you could yell that didn't make sense to me. I remember hearing about Monday. First time someone called somebody at Monday, and I was like, what? It's, that's a
The
racial slur?
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, I don't even want to know. So I know that there's a million things that you could, I had no idea. I thought I knew a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But when I was like, really? That's a thing you can yell at? Or like, that's like a thing to yell.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there's all weird shit like that. There's the 88.
Well, some guy got thrown out.
Yeah.
And it ended up, that's what he got thrown out for. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of weird things like that. Yeah, the number 88 is a dog whistle.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
things
shit
like that. Yeah.
Right. I have no idea. I can't keep up with that shit.
No.
But if he's yelling something like that it's like, well, if you pulled 100% of if you pulled the 5,000 people, how many of the 5,000 people knew that he was using a racial slur? It would be like, whatever number. I don't think it's going to be 100.
It's going to be other Nazis and the black people.
Okay.
That's who's going to know.
You know what?
That's exactly who's going to know what that means.
Well, then that would be interesting because there's going to be all the shit that I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would be interesting to be like, well, no, this is what he yelled. And this is why.
You're in the middle of the desert.
Huh? He yelled, well, next Tuesday is September, bitch. Like, whatever,
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. No.
That's just...
That's a test.
It's just an odd thing.
Yes.
That, again, the Globe was part of the Red Sox. Everyone knows the name, but his name's in but out. Nobody knows. He's the unnamed person that yelled something at this guy that they actually that they referenced. This whole thing. Never got a comment.
So again,
and they're the Boston Globe. And then when they ask him, why didn't you get a comment from him? I didn't call him. You didn't call him.
Right.
No, I didn't call him. I just ran with the story that we already... Okay, good. Thanks.
Good work. Here's my problem. Here's my problem with all this.
Yeah.
Is that because of this poor journalism, the story of racism in Boston becomes discredited. And people will start questioning...
Even more racist.
They'll start questioning the racism itself and not the shitty journalism.
Right. You try to write a story about racism just to try to highlight it, to make everything good. But this is the scenarios that they had the right message. They just said it the wrong way.
Yeah. So if you're gonna
do
an expose,
it's preface it and then get into this and then. But their preface.
Well, just the whole thing just.
Some of them were
fishy.
good. But the hospital one was just weird. It was like, ugh, you just brought up like Dana Farber, or it's like, really? You calling the people that treat kids with cancer racists?
Well, yeah.
Or the fact that if you're of a different skin tone, you don't get to go in and see them, like, they're really probably not going to be very happy with you right now.
No,
that whole organization.
If it's a 90-year-old woman telling a story from 30 years ago, you're calling.
That was just about being treated in the regular. But, it was like, this was one place that they highlighted where it was like, really? It's like people, they don't feel like they can, people of color can walk through the hoops and ladders to get into the place where it was like, really?
The punch didn't land. Like, the punch, the journalistic punch didn't land. And they were trying to...
it was just loose. Right, but it's like they were throwing these haymakers, but it's like, wow, you just kind of threw the haymaker.
Yeah.
And you didn't when you throw that haymaker, you really need to be like, wham! And this is why it hurt.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then say it.
Yeah.
But this was just wham! And then, the other guy came in the room, and then I just walked up to him and said, wham!
Yeah.
And it was over. Where it was like, whoa, no. This is an expose. This is a 2-month,
Yeah.
This wasn't,
working on
this story in 2 days. No, this was, you have 3 months. Go.
Go.
Make it a spotlight.
A spotlight should be a laser-guided missile taking out...
Yeah, like, think about
boom.
it. If somebody gave you a 3-month story on racism, you would probably have so much shit that would be like, oh my god, I don't even know how to edit this together. You're gonna... Right. So, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. I need my biggie. I need my big piece for this. But...
Racism, I need a documentary.
Cross the editor's desk. Like, we're obvious questions.
Yeah, how many eyes
like,
was on this to...
Really, wouldn't they say this?
Yeah.
You would think would be the first question to this article that went out.
Yeah.
Through this editor's desk. So
it's a shitty thing because, like...
It's just loose. It's like, no, you're the Globe. I know the Herald just died, but you guys shouldn't just try to spotlight Boston and do it poorly.
Harmful and irresponsible.
If you're going to spotlight Boston, please try to do it well, because we're all going to get pissed.
Yeah.
It's fucking Boston. We're going to get pissed. You want to have a freedom rally in our town? Sure. 40,000 people are just going to randomly show up and shut the fucking party down.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we saw.
Yeah. But then are those same people going to, in their everyday lives...
That was 40,000 people that took their everyday lives and said, no, fuck them.
For one day. I'm talking about just in the...
That's still pretty random.
At Dunkin' Donuts the next morning, are you going to stand up for... Yeah, back to normal. Yeah, you're not going to stand up for...
Oh, no. Yeah. But I have eggs in the oven. I have fish to fry. I have whatever the fuck it is I'm supposed to say.
I did my part on Sunday to stand up against institutional racism. Like, I'm not going to do this in my everyday life. So the whole thing is in the words of Matt...
can you or can't you? What do you have? If you don't have any, if your bacon is your own, sir, then, run.
Right.
Do whatever you want.
In the words of Matt Damon from The Departed, this whole thing is phooey.
This whole thing
is phooey. Yeah.
All right.
That's what I have for the fucking...
You know what I have?
You gotta pee. Pee break.
You read me well. We're gonna brave the outside.
Yeah. Alright, folks, it's just you and me for a little bit. I'm gonna tweet out the live stream thingamajigger again. That's the garage door. Ooh, the frigid air just popped in here. It's cold out there, folks. It's cold. I don't want YouTube Studio. I want regular YouTube. Do 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 do. Alright, we're still going. If you're still listening, after the garage door opens, send us a chat. Send us a nice chat. We want to interact with you. We want to interact with our fans. I don't know why I'm talking like a gay Dracula right now.
I don't know, you're going all Gleb on me.
Yes.
I do want Gleb to dig into it.
Dig into Gleb. Let's email Gleb.
Seriously, we should.
Yeah.
We've heard bullshit on this. What do you think?
What do you think?
What sort of invested journalism is this after 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah.
Racism. Substantiated sources and...
Racism, absolutely. This Globe article, phooey. Absolutely phooey. What else we got on the docket? Oh! Somebody else, I sent out a message to the old Gab fam. Because they're the only people that fucking talk to us on the internet.
They talk to everyone.
It's really what it comes down to.
Smart. I mean, you know what? But that's kind of that mentality. Now I'm kind of my foundations are quaking on Gabber. It's like, oh no, maybe this is gonna round out.
Yeah.
This might round out. Should we buy stock?
Yo, Tracy Gomez. What's up? Yeah, Gab's doing like a coin offering thing is what they're doing. They're like doing
What's going on, Tracy?
like a Bitcoin thing. She's not on audio. She's just in the chat.
All right.
But yeah, cool. Somebody said, "Hey there, hey Tracy, how's it going?" So yeah, they're doing like a Bitcoin thing.
Wasn't the first 2 Bitcoin billionaire babies or something?
Oh, the Winklevoss twins, the guys that Mark Zuckerberg stole Facebook from.
Wait, he stole children? No,
Yeah.
no, he stole Facebook from these children.
Yeah, and they're doing like a Bitcoin fund on like the actual stock market. There's like a Bitcoin futures being sold now. Of just this.
Jesus Christ, things I wish that I had known of, where it was like spend $100, get,
You'd have like $25,000 now, yeah, or way more.
Oh, the idea was right. Yeah,
right,
so
right.
if we put in 25,000, where would you be now?
Right.
Bazillions.
Yeah. Tracy, where are you writing from? What's your story? Talk to us.
No pressure, Tracy.
Yeah. We'll just keep gabbing on. Somebody wrote though an interesting topic, which was Second Amendment rights and medical marijuana.
Hand in hand?
Yeah, Hawaii, it turns out, I found this...
It's a nice state, though.
Yeah. Okay, so Hawaii...
That's the rules.
Yeah. So this Reason.com article, it writes, Hawaii is one of 29 states that allow medical use of marijuana, but it's the only state that requires registration of all firearms. Okay, if you're familiar with this criteria, and your medical marijuana use disqualifies you from ownership of firearms and ammunition, is the law in Hawaii. So you surrender your weapons, and you have to...
But that's if you take medical marijuana, obviously.
If you're on the medical marijuana list,
then
you surrender your Second Amendment rights.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one, and that's like a topic of debate. I think personally it's
samurai
bullshit.
Swords would start really going off the shelf.
Yeah. Knife sales doubled in Hawaii in a week.
It's gone up considerably.
I have my entire company's based on... Yeah. Dude, a crossbow.
Yeah.
Crossbow. Remember that guy, speaking of Boston lore...
It's one of the first weapons ever banned was the crossbow.
The crossbow, yeah. Alright, Boston...
That was banned across the world.
Listen, remember this. Do you remember this story? Boston trivia. Route 93 or the Pike, going through the tunnel. Dude gets road rage, pulls out a fucking crossbow, and shoots another guy in the car. This guy was not fucking around.
Wait, this happened?
This happened.
This was an
Look
occurrence.
this up. This is a Boston occurrence. Somebody shot somebody else with a fucking crossbow.
Hand crossbow?
Hand crossbow.
Like, I have it on my wrist
I
crossbow, small
it's
dart crossbow.
on my passenger seat loaded for some reason because I was just hunting or whatever.
Big crossbow.
I don't know what kind of crossbow it is, but this guy killed another guy.
He killed another
with
motorist.
A crossbow. Yeah. I want to say that's the most Boston thing ever, but that's absolutely not the most Boston thing ever.
Did that happen on Snow Drive?
That happened
If it did, then it's nature. It happened on Snow Drive.
Inches.
Because
No, it was in a
people are
tunnel.
irate.
What's the Ted Williams tunnel? Was that 93?
Yes, but that
was
is an
93.
extension of. See, that could have been.
It was
really,
pre.
He probably was trying to get on Shore Drive.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Pre-Big Dig, though. So pre-Big Dig, Boston under...
This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Why are you dredging up ancient history about crossbows?
Because the guy shot a guy
So
with a crossbow.
crazy.
Yeah, that's why.
He had to have been in a van. You can't shoot. You can't have an armed crossbow in a fucking car. He had to have been in a big vehicle.
Now we're starting to get
Probably
into details that I would be
It's weird.
in violation of
Crossbow?
the Pro-Truth Pledge if I
Right,
did
because
not.
it's not like he hand cranked a crossbow, or however you are. You know, it takes two hands to fucking.
I don't think it was like a Book of Eli.
Pretty sure it takes two hands.
You gotta
At
load
least,
this thing
you
with
might
your
have to
feet.
stick it against your belt line, and then.
Shoot a cat. No, I think it was a hand crossbow, like they sell
So
at
it
the
was just a
sporting
little
goods
dart
stores.
thing that he actually just put in this guy's
Probably
carotid
did.
artery somehow.
Yeah, got him in the neck and
Or hit him in the temple.
yes. Even then,
No,
I don't think it would
because-
pierce the temple. It was
How-
kind of
the person that had to also, maybe you know what it is. Maybe it was the instance of they were this that close.
point
The
blank
window
with
was
a
down,
crossbow.
and the person was in the window, and it was just like, you know what, fuck you,
Yeah.
smack right in the eye, from fucking 4 feet,
Yeah.
because they were that close, and you leaned over. You were just like, you know what,
Pop. Yeah.
right from window to window.
They had a
Fuck
hard
you.
time
You probably
tracing
think
that
you
bolt.
probably don't think that I have a fucking crossbow on my wrist. Bam.
It was one of those sleeve things that popped out like James Bond style.
Or you just kept it low up and leaned over to them, and then
Yeah.
you know you're in traffic and you got one hand on the wheel, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah,
Pop.
bet you don't think I have a crossbow on my wrist.
Yeah. The
And then end the person. That would be funny if that was
Yeah.
the actual story.
Cross-
Why? There's gonna be a story. It was that long ago.
I don't know. I'm not gonna Google it right now.
Unconcealed.
I'm.
What kind of show is this that we're running? What the fuck, man?
We need the guy that like looks shit up for us and like.
Yeah, that's true. We need a guy. It's called me. I just can't hold up my end of the bargain.
Yeah.
You know, I got problems.
All right. But anyway, so is it fucked up that Hawaii's taking away people's guns when they register for medical marijuana?
No, you're on an island. Shit's different.
Shit's different on an island, says Larry. Okay.
Yeah, it's different on an island.
What if they did it in?
If everybody had a gun, then it would be a problem.
Yeah.
Small place.
What if they did it in Wisconsin? Or
That'd be good luck. Good luck. Good luck in Wisconsin because everybody's got a gun there.
yeah. So I think
So
it's
you could just say no more guns.
just no guns.
No more guns. Right, no guns. If you have guns, you better not let me know you have a gun unless you kill someone.
No, we just can't. No, I still.
You can't take people's guns away. You don't know where they are.
Yeah, the whole disarming
So
people
that's
is fucking
ridiculous.
dumb.
It's dumb. It's
Yeah,
one of those.
yeah, you can't.
Exactly. We're circling back to where it's like the reason is immaterial. People will fucking have guns.
Yeah,
Okay,
whether
just
or not
don't
you think
ever
they
try
should
to
have
think
guns.
You should take them away from them.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't want a gun, fine. You're good.
You can also not have a gun. Yeah, yeah.
Just don't have a gun and be the person that doesn't want to have a gun. It's that simple.
Right.
You know? But don't tell people that want to have a gun that they shouldn't. Because that would be like if I was like, you should really be Jewish and not Christian, you jerk. Or, you know, you
Yeah.
can't be Muslim. We all need to be Hindu.
Yeah, that's the one.
But I'm serious. You know.
Ah, okay.
I'll see.
All right. So the reason
And,
why,
like-
yeah, the way that Hawaii did this is that there's already something on the books that says anybody that's you
Not of this island.
no anyone who's an unlawful user of or addicted to any controlled substance. So if you're addicted to controlled substance, you can't have a gun. That's already on the books in Hawaii. What they did was they extended the definition of controlled substance and addiction to users of medical marijuana because now you're on the books as being addicted to marijuana. And that's why they extended that, and then they said, okay, the medical marijuana users can't have guns. Which I think is bullshit. I think it's, if anything, marijuana is going to not... I mean, either A, you already have a psychological problem. that's not being addressed. That you are, whether
it's true.
You know,
I forget the walls that you just jumped through.
yeah,
Where a lot of people think a lot of things about why they should have a gun.
right, and you know,
Even I do. I don't own a gun, but I think about reasons why I should.
right, yeah. The should I have a gun question pops through my mind like once every couple weeks. When I'm like, should I get a gun? And as it stands right now, my life is pretty insular and bubbled, and probably don't ever need to have a gun.
The older I get, and the more people, everyone I know who have guns get guns, it is that thing though, where you see other people where it's just like, really? You don't have one? Or it's like, no, why? Like, well, it's like, don't you just want one, like, locked up in a safe, like, somewhere that you only know about, that, like, just in case? I'm like, no.
I don't think
Should
so.
I?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should. I mean,
yeah. What do you say to that? Because it's
that
like
whole worst case scenario that people like to play.
Yeah.
Is really the reason why people own guns, because of the worst case scenario, which is part of that equation that you can't predict that flow. You know, you can't predict the ebb or the flow of whatever the hell's going on if crazy shit happens to you.
Right.
But
Yes.
in the end product, it'd be like, yeah, if some dumbass kicked my door open at 2 a.m. because he thought, let's just say that he thought he was somewhere else, and he was looking for someone to shoot, you know, like, oh shit, yeah, wouldn't I like to have something to just be like, hey, you know, I'm fucking armed, you know, I have a gun, you know. Maybe,
you always talk about the pump action shotgun. That's the
that's the whole idea of
the whole sound,
even,
the sound that it makes, right?
The guy that told me was just like, you know what I like about this? I don't even need to have fucking shells for it. My idea, you know. You hear that? Wait, what the, you know, blah.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a
like
serious
all you really need in like a scenario where it's like, damn it, if he comes around the corner with a shotgun, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you got a point.
But, you know, I'm just not I don't know. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you know, maybe, it's like, oh, maybe if I just had it as a prop. It's like, you know, I'm really against firearms. You know, but he would only know that after you hopefully scared him away with your toy. You could treat it like a toy. Like,
yeah.
And just be like, oh, I'm out of here. Be like, wow, I'm really against firearms. This is not loaded, but this is a very effective tool. If you could hit him with it. But, you know, that would be a funny thing for
heavy ass
caught
thing
on to
too.
be like, you know what, I don't want to own a gun. I don't want to ever blah, 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 but I will own this one particular instrument because it makes a noise that scares people. They'll have home security systems, right? That would just be part of your home security system, would just be manually operated. Your last line of defense.
Except,
I'm against guns. Your last line of defense is a pump action shotgun where it's like,
yeah. Swerve by
that
wolves.
should still be your last action. That should still be your last action of defense.
Yeah.
At least you could hit him with it.
Right. I swallow shotgun shells, and then when I need them, I regurgitate them back up.
There you go.
And that's what I would do in that
Can you
situation.
spit it forth?
Yeah.
With a great down?
Yeah. Yeah, I just chew up the bearings in my jaw, and then I spit them out like a Daffy Duck.
No, so you need to imbibe, you know, a bunch of alcohol, and then, you know, regurgitate it forth with a lighter.
That's pretty good too. Yeah.
And then, you know, light the 151.
Well, it's just like I like swallowing the shells because I know where they are. It keeps them away from my kids. It's an appetite suppressant, so I lose weight.
That would be
having lead in my stomach.
Right, but
yeah,
for me, I think I would keep like one gun loaded, and that would be the end of the story.
Underneath the bed.
I would only own those, hopefully, 8, 10 magazines, 8, 10 rounds.
Yeah.
9 rounds, maybe. Oh, I would hopefully have 2 extra clips, I guess. Just within, like, one box. You know, like, gun, 2 clips, loaded gun.
Absolutely.
Loaded gun, 2 clips. That would be, like, my ideal of, like, okay, fine, now I have something.
Yeah.
But
That
I don't know.
You
I-
teach your children
but
to
I've never done
respect
it.
the weapon.
I would never do it. It's just something that if it's ever brought up to me, it's just like, yeah, it makes sense that I should do that. But I never would. I can never see it being part of my life. But I can see its point. Like, if people bring it to me and my attention, it's like, I guess, I get it. Yeah, you're right, whatever. I can also throw myself down the stairs like a missile and take them on like a man.
Right.
But at that point, I would rather have a shotgun with no shells in it.
Rather than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's an instrument otherwise.
Right. Right.
And it should work.
I heard a good podcast with a security expert. So first of all, like a guy that does like security for like celebrities and politicians and stuff, like runs a security firm.
Okay.
Like physical security. So armed. Basically, he has a little army, and
He has this little security task force.
Yeah.
And they police a large area.
And he was just like, if somebody's breaking into your house, the only thing you have is your instincts to save you at that point. The police are not going to come in time.
They know exactly what they're doing.
The burglar knows exactly why they're there, what they're looking for.
Their intent is already on you.
Yeah, and you have 30 seconds of pure instinct to protect you. Like that's what a situation like that is like. And like,
yeah, so it needs to be within arm's reach. So everyone's like, well, you have it over here, and you have it over
Given that-
there, and you have it over here. Or it's like, well, at that point, it's too late. You're
Keep
still
a
like
loaded
up in the
45,
place that had
yeah.
the thing, just looking at it, going, damn it, what was the code?
yeah, the whole
Get it out.
keep it in a safe thing is so fucking dumb to protect you from a burglar. Like, that's not how that works.
Well, for me, it should just be handprint identification. You should own a firearm because it's only your hand that can fire that weapon.
You know what's
You
chill?
have to grasp it. It has to run you through a system, and then all of a sudden it can say clear to fire. So
Yeah.
that I am the only person that can actually fire that weapon, unless you cut my hand off and manipulate my hands like they do in the movies.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that isn't already in place.
Oh, the DNA print and the
I
fingerprint
don't
thing?
care. Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Boom. It's my gun. Boom. Only me. I'm the only person that can shoot. Well, this hand is the only one that can shoot it, or my person.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then it's like,
Why
I'm with
does
you
everyone
there.
care?
I'm with you on that. I'm just thinking about the gun person
Well,
who
it'd
would
be
say,
part of the
who
firearm,
decides the...
Part right there would just be like, I just nick you. And then it's like, vroom, and they run your DNA or whatever. It's just like, vroom, it's authenticated. It's in.
Okay.
You know, it's like,
Yeah,
boom,
take a
the
little
gun
skin
is
scrape.
live.
Yeah.
It can't be live. No one else can ever touch it and make the gun live.
I hope it would make a cool, like,
That would be the best gun in the world. Everyone would buy that gun.
sound effect when it
Or
turns
just
on.
be
and,
like,
yeah, yeah. It
Now you're ready to
molds
go.
itself to your, you know...
oh, whatever. No,
Yeah.
it would just be
No,
every
just
time you grasp
activates.
it would just be like, boom, boom, boom,
That's
boom.
who,
And it would be green. It would be like, okay, the weapon's hot.
Yeah.
Or red. Maybe that would be the only time it went from green to yellow to red.
Ooh. Red means on armed.
Red means
This... Do
Yeah.
not point this weapon at anything you do not intend to destroy.
lightsabers should also be legal. We should create those and make them illegal, so that people in the street can.
But speaking of technology, here we go again. People are 3D printing guns.
Yep.
There's been proofs of concept published to YouTube and all these different things. People are just fucking printing out guns. And like, good luck stopping that. Good luck stopping the people who have the will and wherewithal to 3D print guns. I'm thinking cartels. I'm thinking...
Well, you know what? That's Borg too. People are just like, yeah, no, you're not going to stop me. Not that they're all together, but it's just like
Yeah.
little single entities. It's just like, yeah, just because you think that I can't do this or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know you could probably go on the dark web right now, and
That's
download
anything. That is it, right? Isn't
yeah,
it?
download
The
a
dark
torrent.
web is really it, right?
That's
That's like Gab. That's like other things where it's like the first time it hits, it's very dark. It's people don't like it. It's gonna slowly become normal,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
at least the darkest entities jump into it first,
Yeah.
unferret it, and then just destroy it, and then hopefully something remains.
Yeah, as
Depends
it
how
stands
much.
right now, the dark web, if you can imagine it, it's there. If you think, oh, I wonder if this is on the dark web, I wonder if that's available, yep, it
Right.
is.
Well, that's
Anything
part
you
of the
can think
cyberspace manifesto
of.
too.
Hitmen, yeah,
Where
the
it's
most.
just like this is it's one hand in the left. The light, the dark,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's all there, all
the same
represented,
Fucking,
yeah.
It's all one entity coming at you from. If you have to picture it like a human, from a right and a left, then.
Yeah.
Is that why we have right and left, Wayne? Just because we have a right and left hand?
Yeah.
Isn't that the dumbest thing in the world?
It's really dumb. The binary system of politics is really dumb. There's
Do you really think that's true? Because
or night and day. I mean, there's a night, there's a day. The sun goes up, the sun goes down. Our brains are wired to think in pairs of things, in pairs of opposites.
okay,
That
just predisposed to be like that makes total sense.
Absolutely, yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
the lefties. There's only fucking 12% of them.
How
I don't
dumb
even
is
know
that?
Why?
Somebody sits across from you and they're like, "There's only two kinds of people in this world," and you're like, "Yes, I'm in. I'm listening."
Are you left-handed or right-handed? I am both.
Yeah. Whoa.
Wait a minute.
No, there's only two hands.
No, I would probably be killed. They would be like, wait a minute, what? You can't claim both. No, I have to, I guess. I eat with my left hand, but I throw with my right hand. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to just eat with my right hand and pretend that I don't want to use my left hand to do all
Kill
my...
thyself.
Because I'm fine motor skills left, gross motor skills right.
That's another characteristic of a robot, actually, is ambidextrous. Yeah, so...
Oh, see? Well, I
Yeah.
could be a robot.
Yeah,
It's possible. One time on mushrooms in the snow, I shot a basketball for I don't know how long. Just kind of walking around, rolling the ball in my arms.
That's cool.
Walking to it whatever distance, shooting it up.
Getting earthy with it.
And I didn't miss for a while.
That's pretty cool.
And when I missed, everyone else who was also tripping and hanging out underneath the thing was just like, holy shit.
Started weeping uncontrollably.
You missed. And I was like, whoa. Snowing that night. Crazy night. It was one of those great times. So I think mushrooms might be the only drug that I ever do again.
Oh, yeah. I would do mushrooms
Maybe.
again.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I doubt it. But it's the only one that if someone, I would maybe consider it. Just be like, really? Wait a minute, hold on. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then be like, no,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm not doing that. No more.
I remember getting dressed on mushrooms, and I just put on the weirdest outfit. And then it was just so fun to wear just dumb clothes. Just to put on a dumb-ass outfit that made no sense. And then we were all wandering around Lowell. And I remember one of my friends being like, well, we're fine because the only person that looks weird is Mark.
That's, me being the old crusty righty would be like, I would never do that.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't want to get beat up because I look like a dummy. But that is the mentality where it's like, yeah, if you did dress up like a moron and run around and be an idiot, through the streets of Lowell, eventually you're gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
But whose fault is that? That would be the person who ran around and acted like a dummy, right?
No, it doesn't mean. I mean,
Like that you did.
Yeah, yeah.
I just mean.
I would have been really bummed out if I got beat up just for dressing like a dumbass.
Oh, okay.
Just I wasn't bothering anybody. I wasn't like getting in people's faces.
I guess
I
that's
just
true.
yeah. I just put on like mismatching shit. I think I put on like shorts over my pants or something like that, or like.
Just made yourself look like a goofball.
Yeah, because it was just
that's more playful than anything else.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
It was
so
the playful.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah, if you're harassing people, if I was catcalling women and like yelling out slurs downtown Lowell, like, yeah, I would probably
yeah, that
be.
would probably not work out.
Yeah, no, I'd get my ass kicked.
Don't go to Thailand or anything like that. There, you know, in trouble.
Yeah. I don't think I want to go to Thailand. There's some cool ass temples and stuff though. I'd probably check it out. I need to be in my 50s when my kids are all in college, so I can just go and.
That would be the
travel
one
the
place
world.
that would be like, I'm gonna. Oh, maybe no, actually no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Forget it. It's one place if it was still the old school world, I would want to go, I guess. But not Thailand now.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to
I wouldn't
Bangkok
want to
and
have
the
to
city.
manipulate all the bullshit to get to actually what I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
It'd be too much bullshit for me to manipulate.
Yeah.
No, fuck that.
Exactly. That's too lazy
too
to
bad.
travel the
It's
world
too
now.
bad.
I know.
I feel bad though. One of my cousins did. He had a good time. But he was, I'm sure he was with a program that had it set up.
Yeah.
Which is really, usually, very useful.
Absolutely.
You get to go right to a place.
All right. We're going to end at that, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us on the old YouTube channel. And we're signing off. Goodbye.
Good night.